The ongoing battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is just getting worse and worse by the day. With every hour, I feel more information is coming out, and it is looking bad for everybody involved. Now, if you'll remember, we talked about Blake Lively here a while ago when the It Ends With Us film was coming out, and a lot of the conversation at the time was surrounding Blake Lively and Colleen Hoover, who is the author of It Ends With Us, if you don't know, and their promotion of the film, the way they went about promoting it. Because It Ends With Us is a film and a book with some very serious topics, but in the press tour for this and all the promotional materials, Colleen, Blake, and other people involved weren't actually talking about these serious things. They were instead focusing on the fun, the costumes, the outfits, saying, wear your florals, bring your friends, this is a fun summer movie, which led to people going to see the film not actually knowing what it contained and being very upset when there were scenes of a disturbing nature about the relationship between Blake Lively's character and Justin Baldoni's character. Now, Justin Baldoni, if you'll remember, is also the director of the It Ends With Us movie, and there was quite a bit of fallout between Blake and Justin because Justin seemed to be the only one who was actually promoting the movie for what it was. Now, at this time as well, more information started coming out about Blake Lively. Nothing that was secret or unknown, but people started looking at clips of her in a new light and seeing how she may have been a bit of a diva, a bit of a mean girl, a bit of a not nice person. You will, of course, remember the infamous clip of her being interviewed and the interviewer saying congratulations on your bump because Blake Lively was heavily pregnant at the time, and Blake Lively said, well, congratulations on your little bump, to the interviewer who was not pregnant. Now, that interviewer has since become a drama channel who exclusively talks about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. That is a whole different topic. I have thoughts about her actually, so if you want me to talk about that in more detail, I will, but this is not about her. This is about Blake and Justin because everybody hated Blake Lively. Kind of me included, to be honest. When I made my video about her, I was saying a lot of the same things that everybody else was saying, that she is not a great person, that people don't like her, that she should have been promoting the film for what it was, the way that Justin was, and accepting the idea that she had pushed Justin Baldoni out. Although I'm pretty sure my conclusion of that was saying that, yeah, Blake Lively is probably not the greatest person, but it's not that big of a deal. And, you know, we'll get into that a little bit more, but even if everything said about Blake Lively is true and she's not a great person, it's also not the worst thing in the world. We'll talk more about that in a second. But after that, and you will have heard probably if you've been keeping up with this story, Blake Lively accused It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni of harassment and retaliation. Lively's complaint accuses Baldoni, who is also the film's director, of creating a hostile work environment and trying to ruin her reputation after she expressed her concerns. I won't go too deeply into this because this happened a while ago and I think a lot of you will know what I'm talking about already, but I will go into some of the details here so we can actually talk more about where we are today, because there have been a lot of leaks, there have been a lot of new allegations from both sides. But at the time that this happened, this is what this article said. Blake Lively accused her co-star Justin Baldoni of harassment and creating a hostile work environment on the set of It Ends With Us, and then trying to ruin her reputation after she expressed her concerns, according to a complaint she filed. The undated complaint, filed with the California Civil Rights Department, says that things got so bad on set that an all-hands meeting was called on January 4th to address issues that had nearly derailed production of the film. Lively, Baldoni, executives for Sony Pictures Entertainment, and Wayfair Studios, as well as Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, attended the meeting. According to the complaint obtained by NBC News on Saturday, numerous issues were raised during the meeting, ranging from inappropriate conversations to alleged retaliatory or abusive behavior. The complaint, a precursor to a lawsuit, so very important to note that this is not a lawsuit at this time as this was happening, it was just a complaint, was first reported by TMZ. But we don't like TMZ here, so we're not going to quote them. Brian Friedman, who is representing Baldoni, Wayfair Studios, and its representatives, called the allegations categorically false. Friedman said Lively's complaint was another desperate attempt to fix her negative reputation, which was garnered from her own remarks and actions during the campaign for the film, interviews and press activities that were observed publicly, in real time and unedited, which allowed for the internet to generate their own views and opinions. Lively's complaint accused Baldoni, who is also the film's director, of showing nude videos or images of women to her and improvising physical intimacy that had not been previously rehearsed or discussed. During one alleged incident, Baldoni improvised numerous kisses during a scene, the complaint says. Another incident alleges that Baldoni did not act in character when they filmed a slow dance scene that did not require sound. At one point, he leaned forward and slowly dragged his lips from her ear and down her neck as he said, "It smells so good." Now, I want you to remember this bit because this is going to be extremely important when we look at one of the leaks that just came out about this, because we have access to this scene and it was recorded with sound. So, the complaint further alleges that Baldoni and Jamie Heath, the chief executive officer of Wayfair, pressured her to simulate full nudity during a scene in which she was giving birth. The complaint says that nudity was not mentioned in the script and was not discussed previously with Lively. When it was filmed, Baldoni and Heath failed to close the set, allowing non-essential crew to pass through while Miss Lively was mostly nude, it says. The complaint also accuses Baldoni of having his best friend play the role of Lively's doctor, when typically the part would go to a local actor. The complaint describes several other incidents, including Baldoni allegedly telling Lively he could speak to her dead father, trying to enter her trailer while she was nude, and implying to Lively's fitness trainer that he wanted her to lose weight. So quite a lot of really, really big accusations, and I'm going to be really honest with you guys for a second here. I already filmed this video once when this complaint happened, and I lost the footage. So I just didn't remake the video. I was waiting for more stuff to come out, and more stuff has come out. So it's quite a lot of stuff, and what I said at the time was that she's alleging a lot of stuff that would have multiple witnesses who could vouch for what happened, and it seemed really in her favor that she was telling the truth, not in her favor that this was good. But things like making her be nude during a birth scene, being really inappropriate with the things he says to her and about her, a lot of very different stuff, and getting his friend to play the doctor during the birth scene is weird. Anyway, the movie, based on Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel, follows Lively's character Lily Bloom and her relationship with neurosurgeon named Ryle Kincaid, played by Baldoni. Hoover shared a New York Times article about the complaint in her Instagram story on Saturday. Addressing Lively directly, she wrote, "You have been nothing but honest, kind, supportive, and patient since the day we met. Thank you for being exactly the human that you are. Never change, never wilt." Now I have... Woo! Now, I have to say about Colleen Hoover, I have absolutely no love for that woman. I may make a bigger video on her one day because there's so much about her that I disagree with. However, at least she's standing up for Blake in this case, because Justin, according to this complaint, was acting exactly the way that Colleen Hoover's male love interests act, and I had a horrible sinking feeling in my stomach that because Colleen Hoover writes these love interests like this to be creepy, horrible men, she was not going to see the problem in what Baldoni allegedly did. But apparently she did see the issue. Which, by the way, when I was doing research for this, I was looking up stuff about Colleen Hoover, and I just happened across the information that she's from Texas, which somehow I didn't know this. But I don't know if you guys know, I've mentioned it on social media a little bit, but I'm going to be going to Texas in like a month, and I am so excited. And I'm just wondering, like, am I just going to walk across Colleen Hoover on the street? Like, I know that's not likely. I don't think I'm even going to be in the area that she lives in, but if I did happen across her on the street, what should I say to her? Like, what do I say to Colleen Hoover? Like, "Hi, I hate your book." Or do I just leave it? Do I just not speak to her? I probably wouldn't speak to her. I would just like put up a tweet, "Hi, I just saw Colleen Hoover in Texas." But I'm really excited about this trip because I've never been to the States before. I have never been to America before, so I am really excited about this. I'm really nervous as well because there's like so much stuff that goes into a long haul trip that I have never done before, because I've never done a long haul trip. I've only been around Europe. And when I'm traveling around Europe, like, I know how to handle stuff. I know how it works. The flight is what, like 2 hours, 3 hours. It's all chill. My phone works there. So when I'm going over there, there's a lot to like plan and stuff. But thankfully, there is one thing that I do not have to worry about, which is getting my phone to work, which is extremely important because everything that I need to exist is on my phone. So I need data and I need network. So I have found Saley who are taking away the stress for me of figuring out how I'm going to use my phone when I get to the States. So now all I have to worry about is how I'm going to survive a 10-hour flight and jet lag from the time difference. But at least I'll have my phone. Saley is a provider of eSIMs to help you stay connected in over 180 countries by connecting to an eSIM on their dedicated app. If you don't know what an eSIM is, it's a digital SIM that is built into most modern phones, so it removes the need to have an actual physical SIM card, and it means that you can connect to different providers, connect in different countries, and overall just have a better experience and avoid roaming fees when traveling. With Saley, you can purchase and activate data plans directly in the app, and their app itself is really, really easy to use, really straightforward, and really streamlined. And what makes this really great is that they have a different variety of data plans that you can choose from daily to monthly. And to start using an eSIM, you just pick one of their plans and you do a little quick setup in the app, and that's it. You don't need to remove your other SIM card or anything like that. It's really simple and really easy to use. And on top of all this, Saley also have some extra security features to help you stay safe online, like virtual location changes or ad blockers at no additional cost. I'm just really grateful that there is a service that is taking away this stress from me, and I know that no matter what else happens, once I land in the States, I am going to be able to use my phone. I'm going to be able to access all my details and my boarding pass and my information and my bank cards and be able to text my family, "Hi, I landed, I'm alive, I'm in America, everything's chill." And of course, my loves, I have a discount for you. Right now you can get 15% off your eSIM plan if you go to saley.com/Vangelina or scan the QR code on the screen and use code Vangelina at checkout. It's a really great service and I definitely would recommend it. That link is also in the description for you to check out as well. Thank you so much to Saley for sponsoring today's video. Now let's continue talking about Blake and Justin. Now, Blake's allegations against Justin Baldoni don't just end at his treatment of her. She also alleges that he used a PR team to run a smear campaign against her. According to a legal complaint that Blake filed on Friday, it claims that their PR effort had an explicit goal to harm Ms. Lively's reputation instead. Her filings include excerpts from thousands of pages of text messages and emails that she obtained through a subpoena. These and other documents were received by the New York Times. He wants to feel like she can be buried, a publicist working with the studio and Mr. Baldoni wrote in an August 2nd message to the crisis management expert Melissa Nathan. And here's some messages which include Melissa. Jennifer asks, "So are we in the clear now? Did we survive?" Melissa says, "We survived. All press is so overwhelming. We've confused people so much mixed messaging. It's actually really funny if you think about it." The narrative online is so freaking good and fans are still sticking up for Justin, and there literally has been no pickup of those two articles, which is actually shocking to me. But I see this as a total success, as does Justin. You did such amazing work. Narrative is crazy good, so did you. The majority of socials are so pro-Justin, and I don't even agree with half of them. Lol. So even his own PR team didn't agree with him. Now, when all of this came out, support was very firmly in Blake Lively's side. People were saying that they were sorry to her. I was very sorry to her for having taken his side, although I still think I wasn't one of the meanest people. But people were saying that they had been too cruel to her and that this was another case of somebody being mistreated, like with what happened with Amber Heard, because, very importantly, the PR team that he hired is the same PR team that Johnny Depp used when he was dealing with the Amber Heard trial. Now, take from that what you will. But after all this happened, Justin Baldoni turned around and sued Blake Lively. But first, he sued the New York Times. Justin Baldoni files $250 million lawsuit against New York Times over Blake Lively's story. It relied on her self-serving narrative. Then it was announced that Justin Baldoni has sued Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, for $400 million. Actor and director Justin Baldoni and the company he co-founded, Wayfair Studios, have sued his It Ends With Us co-star Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, along with publicist Leslie Sloan, for $400 million in damages. The suit, filed Thursday in the Federal District Court for the Southern District of New York, alleges civil extortion, defamation, and a slew of contract-related claims about the film It Ends With Us, which premiered in August. The lawsuit is the latest development in what has become a legal battle following the production and release of the film. In December, Lively filed a complaint to California's Civil Rights Department, alleging that she had faced harassment and other unwanted behavior from both Baldoni and Wayfair CEO Jamie Heath, who also served as an executive producer of It Ends With Us on the set of the film. She followed up with a lawsuit alleging that despite written agreements that the behavior would stop and she would not be retaliated against, Baldoni and the studio hired a crisis PR firm that launched a smear campaign against her image, planting content on social media and in the press designed to eviscerate Ms. Lively's credibility. Wayfair CEO Jamie Heath, It Ends With Us Movie LLC, and publicists Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel, the ones that we saw the text from just a minute ago, were all named as defendants in that case, and are plaintiffs in the suit filed Thursday. Baldoni, along with his and Heath's publicist and a contractor, have denied any harassment or wrongdoing, and instead paint the conflict as a creative struggle for control of the film between its two lead actors. The lawsuit filed Thursday by Baldoni, Wayfair, and their publicist reiterates the argument that the conflict with Lively emerged from a creative struggle, so denying any harassment or anything that she's saying, describing how what allegedly began as a positive working relationship between Lively and Baldoni took a turn throughout the production process of It Ends With Us. The complaint alleges that little by little, Lively leveraged her star power to push for creative input beyond what is usually granted to an actor, including by taking over wardrobe decisions, rewriting scenes, creating her own cut of the film, and eventually demanding that Baldoni be excluded from promotional materials and events. Now, we do have some text messages that seem to line up with these version of events. You can see Blake talking about wanting to be more involved with the writing, even though he wasn't a fan of the scene that she wrote, stuff like that. And I will talk about this more in a moment. Actually, I'll talk about it now. She could still be pushy and controlling and difficult to work with, but that does not automatically excuse him from any wrongdoing. Even if it's completely true that she was trying to push for creative control, that does not automatically exonerate him from anything. We still don't know who's telling the truth. We don't know if anybody's telling the truth. But if we are to assume that everybody's telling the truth, right? Everybody in this situation is telling the truth. And she was a pain and he was a harasser. He was still a harasser, regardless of what she did. And that trumps anything that she could have done in this situation. Now, does that mean that he is guilty? No, because we still have to find that out. But it's worth noting that, again, if we are to assume everybody is telling the truth, his alleged actions are worse than her alleged actions. But let's continue. The lawsuit vehemently denies that Baldoni, Wayfair CEO Heath, or anyone else on set engaged in harassment or any other inappropriate behavior towards Lively or her team. Instead, it alleges that Lively Reynolds led a string of extortionate threats to tarnish Baldoni's image. So they're flipping the script. Instead of him being the one that's trying to tarnish her image, they're saying that she actually tried to do that to him. This lawsuit is a legal action based on an overwhelming amount of untampered evidence detailing Blake Lively and her team's duplicitous attempts to destroy Justin Baldoni, his team, and their respective companies by disseminating grossly edited, unsubstantiated, new and doctored information to the media. It's clear based on her own all-out willingness to provide all complete text messages, emails, video footage, and other documentary evidence that was shared between the parties in real time that this is a legal battle she will not win and will certainly regret. Now, as I said, there is a lot of text messages that have been leaked. There's too many to go over, but obviously I'll show you some of them. But among the things that were leaked, one of them was a piece of footage from the film set. This is what I was talking about earlier, when we had the allegation that Blake had made. Instead, he spoke to Ms. Lively out of character himself. At one point, he leaned forward and slowly dragged his lips from her ear down her neck, and he said, "It smells so good." None of this was remotely in character or based on any dialogue in the script, and nothing needed to be said because, again, there was no sound. Mr. Baldoni was caressing Mr. Lively. I think that's supposed to say Ms. Lively. I don't think he was caressing Mr. Lively, Ryan Reynolds, with his mouth in the way that had nothing to do with their roles. When Ms. Lively later objected to this behaviour, Mr. Baldoni's response was, "I'm not even attracted to you." So this piece of footage, I might have to mute this because of the music, but there's subtitles, so you get what they're saying. So they're able to talk during this because this is just for a slow-mo scene for a montage.
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
Staring, you just stare.
literally we've done it for like 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally look at each other and like time.
I found a sociopath.
And like time stops.
Yeah.
But like that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my god, there's not enough time.
Oh.
And they score again.
No.
Again.
It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
No, I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute. I feel so nosy.
I know.
Noses.
And my nose is so big.
Yes, I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that. And then
Cut.
Just kidding.
No, it's true. That's why we hired Jenny Slate too. Our noses good.
Knows what I'd be without you.
Let's score another.
If you should
I'm not getting beard on you today.
I'm probably getting a spray tan on you.
It smells good.
Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup.
could show nothing to me. So what good would living do me?
And they win. They won.
All right, cut. I think we got plenty.
Yes.
Slow motion. It's going to be a 17-minute reel.
So you can see that he's doing exactly what she said he did, but people are saying that this is proof that he's innocent because the conversation didn't go exactly as she wanted. Now, I think I'm going to have the really unpopular opinion here that I don't think this disproves her claims in any way. If anything, it furthers them. And you can see at parts there, he's like going in to kiss her. Now, they are acting, right? They're playing roles, but she is like moving away and trying not to let that happen. So clearly that wasn't something that was discussed, at least it seems to me, beforehand. So it is slightly weird, and it just looks like she's trying to be professional in this situation and still carry on with the scene and still play her role while also setting a boundary of being like, no, you're not going to kiss me here because it's not scripted. And also he does put his head down and say, "You smell good." So maybe he didn't realize that was going to make her uncomfortable. Maybe he was just thinking, I'm acting. But still, he did do it. So I don't know why this is seemingly something that exonerates him. After I finished filming this video, I saw this article from The Hollywood Reporter, which was talking a little bit more about some of the stuff that I was saying. And it's from an intimacy coordinator talking about the leaked set footage. So an intimacy coordinator's take on that awkward "it ends with us" video. Justin Baldoni's team claims the video, in which he and Blake Lively's characters dance in a bar, is proof he behaved appropriately, while her team says it validates her allegations of harassment. An experienced intimacy coordinator sees a more complex conflict, one that could have been prevented. Leaked behind-the-scenes footage of a seemingly innocuous slow dance scene from the set of It Ends With Us is quickly becoming the Zapruder tape for followers of the feud between the movie star Blake Lively and her director and co-star Justin Baldoni. Baldoni's legal team, who provided the video to the Daily Mail, say it disproves several key allegations Lively made against Baldoni in a lawsuit she filed in New York in December, accusing Baldoni of harassment and of orchestrating a smear campaign. Baldoni filed his own complaint last week against Lively and husband Ryan Reynolds, seeking at least $400 million in damages for waging their own alleged smear campaign amid other actions. The Hollywood Reporter asked Mia Schachter, I'm sorry if that's not how you pronounce her name, an intimacy coordinator who has worked on Apple TV's Lessons in Chemistry, which is a really good show, you should watch that, and FX's American Crime Story, to watch the footage and share their thoughts. What stands out for you as an intimacy coordinator when you watch this scene? The first thing is that he's trying to kiss her, and they clearly haven't discussed that ahead of time, and she keeps pulling away and clearly doesn't want to do that, which is exactly what I said, so I'm glad I'm not the only one who is seeing this. Normally, if you were going to shoot a scene where characters are kissing, would you discuss that beforehand? An intimacy coordinator would, but there's two main reasons why people bring on an intimacy coordinator, either simulated adult scenes or nudity. Anything else that could be considered intimate were not always present or required. In a scene like this, it's really common that you wouldn't bring on an intimacy coordinator because there's no simulated anything. And there's not even kissing written into the script. We saw that from the script excerpt. I know that there were 2 intimacy coordinators credited on that film, but it doesn't surprise me at all that they wouldn't have had one present for this scene. An intimacy coordinator would have been very clear. We're not doing any kissing. This is the kind of touch that is on the table. Nothing else is. We're not going to bring anything into the scene that we haven't discussed prior. What do you think the power dynamic is between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni in this scene? Even though she's Blake Lively and she can say no and isn't going to be fired for speaking her mind the way that somebody else might fear, she still has to keep working with him and keep the peace and play nice. I can just see her trying to stay lighthearted and in good spirits about it and not upset him or anybody and not waste anybody's time. But of course, she's trapped between a rock and a hard place. I can see her appeasing him and trying to keep a smile on her face. Again, this is what I was saying, so I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks it, that she was just being a professional in this situation. In terms of the hierarchy on set, he is in charge, but it can be very murky. Obviously, she's the star, the household name on the project. I didn't know who he was until this movie, but I have known who she is for many years, and so she's not powerless. I would say she has a significant amount of power here, but regardless, he is the director, and she's supposed to take direction from him. I was surprised that this is the clip that his team leaked. Baldoni's team sees this clip as vindicating him. Right, and I see the opposite. When someone has Lively's level of fame and recognition, they do have a certain amount of power, but there's always the actor-director relationship, and the director's in charge. If you were an intimacy coordinator during this scene, how would you handle this? In prep, we would have discussed what we wanted it to look like. I would have spoken to him about, as a director, what are you hoping to see? And hopefully he would have said, I would love to see them kiss. I would love to see my character kiss her neck and brush her hair out of her face and things like that. Imagine if I could read. Wow, that'd be amazing. And then I would have a conversation with her about her comfort and what she was okay with doing. For an actor, if they know the plan ahead of time and they're not caught off guard, they're open to trying things. The problem here is that none of this was planned or discussed. A scene like this looks so harmless on the page. What could go wrong? I wouldn't even have flagged it to discuss with the director based on what that excerpt says of the scene description. Sorry, this is like the 3rd video I've recorded today. So my mouth is like not working. They're just slow dancing. There's not any mention of any kind of physical intimacy. I guess that's why she's so taken by surprise. This is really improv. Some of what is contested is that they're saying to each other as well. This is not scripted dialogue that they're having. This is a conversation between 2 people out of character, which is not intended for the audience to hear. This, I kind of want to just say, like, is kind of the main takeaway from this, because people are saying, oh, but like, they're acting, she's laughing, blah, blah, blah. So clearly, like, she's not being harassed. But she could absolutely feel like he was overstepping because she didn't know this was going to happen. It could be a case that this was just a giant miscommunication. It could be. Nobody has to be the villain in this situation. But it's not immediate proof that she's lying, like some people are saying. They have this exchange where she apologizes for his beard, and then she apologizes for her spray tan, and then he says that it actually smells good. According to her lawsuit, him saying that she smelled good bothered her. Do you have any reaction to that? This clip really shows how complex it is, because obviously to say that in character makes sense. To say that out of character, it's not inherently wrong or inappropriate, but when there has been mounting discomfort and mounting line crossings, I can see how that becomes yet another thing that was out of line. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. I am going to be keeping up with this story, so just let me know what you think. If you don't want to leave me a comment about that, then leave me a comment and let me know. Have you ever seen a movie with Blake Lively in it? I saw one. It had Anna Kendrick in it. I don't remember what it was called. I don't remember if I liked it either. I think I did. Anyway, like, comment, share. Follow me on social media. Please subscribe. It helps me out so much if you do that. And also, what else am I supposed to ask you to do? I don't know. Do all the things that I'm supposed to ask you to do at the end of a video, including remembering to check out Saley. You can go to saley.com/Vangelina or scan the QR code on screen and use code Vangelina to get 15% off your eSIM plan today. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for sponsoring today's video. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!